Oh, it just automatically sends a tweet out. Well, that's perfect. I mean, that's convenient.
Yeah, we can retweet that.
I don't have to do anything.
Go. I'm already on Twitter.
We'll just. Oh, Jesus. How was the Bethesda post show you guys did yesterday? I was there for a little bit of it.
It was fine. It was just
I can't hear Quinn just say these things.
Yeah, he was like he kept reiterating that it was like fan service.
It's fan service. And I was like, I don't think.
Yeah, it's like I don't think you fully understand what fan service means. Like you're not entirely wrong, but you're not entirely right. And so I didn't want to get into it. So I was just like, whenever he said it, I was kind of like, sure.
Whatever. Yeah, it's like, all right. That's what I tweeted that to somebody, or like I got tagged in a thing by George, and I was like, honestly, the conference is like whatever, but like the more I hear Quinn talk about it, the less I like it. The more I just hear him say things, I'm like, it wasn't that. I like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Okay. So I think we're actually live, y'all.
Yeah. We are live now. Yeah.
Oh snap!
Cool. Hey, We're here. Post show.
2K18 edition.
I was gonna be clever and mesh Square and Ubisoft together, but then that would just be Squaresoft, which is what they used to be called. So
yeah, it would be problematic. Yeah,
Ubi Enix.
Yeah, what? So we're here.
Right. We're here. Ready? Let's go. Exciting times. This is the Square Enix Ubisoft, mainly Ubisoft.
Yeah.
E3 post-show reactions. I'm your host, Logan Wilkinson, joined by Scott White, Mike Burgess.
Hey.
We're going to go very briefly over Square Enix. I don't think that'll take us long at all. And then really dive into Ubisoft, which is going to be the main focus. I will start, I guess, with what are your thoughts and reactions from the Square Enix conference? Mike, you can go first.
It was, I guess, like the easiest way to describe it is it was definitely extremely underwhelming because it was like there was potential for interesting stuff there, and then it was just kind of like we showed a lot of the same stuff we showed literally yesterday, and then there was a lot of stuff that was we already knew a pretty decent amount of, and we just kind of got like, all right, here's another trailer for it, I guess. And it's like some of these things I think they could have spent more interesting time on. They didn't really like. I feel like I would have liked to have seen more of Octopath, and even just a tiny bit more of Kingdom Hearts would have been good. It's like some of the stuff they focused on, like I kind of got why they focused on it, because like we haven't really seen them anywhere else, like Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Just Cause they kind of spent extended time on, but it's like I also was kind of weird because like it's the fourth Just Cause and the third Tomb Raider, so we already kind of know what's going in on those, so it was strange. And then like even the new things they announced were very non-announcements, so it's very underwhelming.
It felt like a very like old school Square Enix kind of press commentary. Like it was like, what is this? Like this is, I feel like you guys have kind of progressed to like past this, and it's like, oh, I guess not. I guess this is still just what you do here.
Yeah, it's just weird just kind of recapping of stuff. And then like the most interesting weird thing was Keith David narrated the whole thing. Like that was just like
I forgot.
Like, all right, Keith David, that's kind of cool. But it's like that was strange. It's just a strange thing. Like it almost shouldn't have been called a press conference, in my opinion. I feel like if they called it some kind of other thing, like a recap or showcase or something, like I feel like that would have like lowered it. I think like calling it a press conference was maybe misleading.
I think that's super true. Scott, what are your thoughts from Square?
A lot of the same feelings as Mike had. I think Square, if they do this again, they need to look at other developers and how they do things and how they announce things.
Yeah.
And really hold things back for their conference. Like it was cool seeing, because it was really the first time we saw any sort of gameplay, like extended gameplay for Tomb Raider. That looked very cool. Looked very Tomb Raider-y. Final Fantasy 14 looked cool, like the addition stuff to that. I think that worked well. I'm super excited for Dragon Quest 11. So, and this was actually the first time we've really seen any of the English voice cast and things done. So that was exciting. I was really excited for that. Babylon's Fall. I mean, it's a platinum.
It looks
game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like the kind of the timeline and everything, and it sounded very interesting. I'd like to go back through and read all the descriptions of the things when they were happening to get a better idea. Plus, it's a platinum game with squares, maybe storytelling craziness. I think that could be very cool. But like you said, Mike, they really didn't show anything outside of a brief cinematic of like a knight killing a demon knight or something.
And there was like 4 silhouetted characters at the end, so maybe it could be like a multiplayer thing. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, Octopath I think we'll get a lot of at Nintendo.
I hope so.
Especially with it coming out next month. Like I think it was July 13th or something. So we're literally at like the month mark till that comes out. So I imagine we'll see more of that tomorrow at Nintendo.
And I could see it and I could see them also not showing much because it's only a month away.
Right. Exactly.
And
that's what I thought.
And at the same time, it's like I would like to see more, but if they don't really show it, again, it's only a month away. So it's like, okay, sure.
Yeah. Plus with Octopath, for the past couple of months, they've done their individual character reveal kind of trailers where they go into each individual person. They have the demo so people can try all the combat and the game mechanics and things like that. So for me, I don't know. I was fine with what they showed just because I don't want to spoil myself too much. Plus, I have all those other like character videos and the gameplay and the actual demo that I can sink my teeth into. Quiet Man, okay.
That's the one that I'm really interested about, like what that could be, but I also have no idea at all what it is based on that trailer, right? And like it took Mike being like, "Oh, they kind of talked about it after the show ended," and I was like, "Oh, okay, it's you wouldn't do it here." And you're like under 30-minute long conference thing. Yeah. Like it's a Quantum Break thing you said, Mike?
Yeah. You can keep going, but I'll find the tweets that way I can.
Yeah. And it was just like, because watching that trailer, it's like the transition from like live action to video game back to live action. I was like, is this just for the trailer? Is this like the real thing? Is this what the game is going to be? Like, I like the idea of like this like like Daredevil-esque kind of thing. It's like, I'm here for that. If that's just beating the shit out of people, it's like, I'm all about this. But I don't even know if that's what the game actually is, or if that's just like this one moment they kind of showed me there, right? And the 2 biggest takeaways for me from the conference, like things I actually enjoyed, were things I'd already seen, like has been mentioned, where it's Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I think the game looks super good, also incredibly dark, like very, very dark and like brutal. But even that's like, all right, we saw literally like almost this exact trailer yesterday at Microsoft, and you just added a little bit at the end. And then Captain Spirit, which is like the Life is Strange, like kind of standalone thing before season 2 begins. And there, I thought this trailer was actually worse than the one we saw yesterday at Microsoft. Like I thought that trailer was way better than this one was. And this one was like a lot more like, what is
this? Was a lot shorter.
Like, this is a lot shorter. It pretty much got rid of like all of like the personal stuff, which is what makes Life is Strange special. It was like, hey, you're like a kid doing superhero-y stuff. And it's like, cool. I'm definitely down for that. But it's like, didn't feel like as personal as like kind of interesting to me as the one from yesterday. And so it's like a weird trailer to show. I was down for it being like, oh, it's out in like 2 weeks and it's free. And it's like, cool. How many episodes is it? Like I'm still not really sure what exactly Captain Spirit is, but definitely those are my 2 highlights, and everything else is just kind of like, all right, Kingdom Hearts trailer still didn't have sound effects, which is like a weird, don't know what's going on in the last like 24 hours at Square, but that's a thing. Hopefully by the time they showed it at Sony, it's got sound effects in it now for that 3rd time's the charm. But it's a weird conference. Like my biggest takeaway from it is like, I don't think this needed to exist. Like, I don't think this is a thing that really we needed, right? Because pretty much everything has been shown somewhere else or could have been shown somewhere else.
Yeah.
And if it couldn't have been, you could have made it in like a press release, right? Because like now I feel like they're going to get more attention for like how not great this conference was. And that's like the shame, I think, of it, right? Or like, if you want to do a conference, don't show other things at like the other press conferences.
I think this would have been perfect if it wasn't at E3. If they had kind of done it like just a spur of the moment kind of thing, like it was a very Nintendo Directy feeling vibe to it. But because they showed so much off at the previous events, having it at E3, there's a certain expectation and a hype level behind it. So you like really have to have awesome things with it. And because they blew so much at yesterday's conferences and everything, it didn't have as much of it didn't have an oomph to it. Had this been in like May, like middle or early May, just randomly come out on like a Thursday, this would have been fantastic and gotten people crazy hype. Like, I think it would have been held and viewed much more positively than having it be at E3 after showing so much. So.
Yeah, and it's just like a very weirdly thing because like they obviously put a little bit of production value in it. Yeah, it was like Keith David narrated the whole thing for like between trailers, and they made like graphics and everything for it.
Yeah, the production was actually good. I thought that wasn't really
so like it's like the weird thing of like they made all that up, but also like I feel like they had to have known they were showing a lot of their stuff the day before on Xbox. So like, why did they take all the time? Like, I don't know. It was very strange. But I have the I'm on this Polygon article. So this description is from the YouTube trailer. Actually, apparently it's on there. It says The Quiet Man delivers an immersive, story-driven, cinematic action experience, seamlessly blending high production live action, realistic CG, and pulse-pounding action gameplay. Embark on an adrenaline-fueled motion picture-like experience, which can be completed in one sitting. So it sounds kind of like a weird CG animated like FMV game, like or with like live action, but also like a game.
The one sit-in part's interesting too, so it can't be like probably like a movie length, like 2 hours.
Like a short kind of
I wonder if they'll do kind of like an episodic approach to it and have like multiple episodes to it, kind of like a Life is Strange sort of.
That's what I was gonna say. They had like a lot of success with Life is Strange, so maybe they're trying to make something else similar. That could be cool. I guess.
Super interesting. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
I need way more information still, but it's definitely interesting.
I'm not gonna lie. When it first started off, I was really hoping this was gonna be Bouncer 2. Like they were gonna reboot Bouncer from PS2 era.
Okay.
Like the PS2 launch title. I was like, oh my gosh, is this gonna be Bouncer? And then it wasn't. I was like, oh.
18 years in the making. We've been waiting for it.
Oh man, that was a fun game. I know it was PS2 launch title, but man,
it was probably the best PS2 launch title, right? I mean, it's not a high bar to clear, but probably was the best. But final thoughts, Mike.
But yeah, pretty much like you said, a lot of this stuff like was fine, but like it could have been shown somewhere else and been also gotten pretty much the same reaction. They could have just shown the stuff they showed pretty much all day yesterday on Microsoft and been cool. And like all the things they didn't show could have just been like random little announcements. They could have just literally put these trailers up on YouTube, on their YouTube channels, or like shared them somewhere and like still probably gotten they probably would have actually gotten a better reaction than just like they put together this whole kind of produced thing and it didn't really fall flat. It did fall flat. So because it was just a lot of the same stuff and the announcements were kind of non-announcements.
Yeah. Scott, final thoughts from you?
If I had to give this a numerical grade, I would probably say it would be like a 6.5. Like,
okay,
low. Like 6.5, 7, somewhere in there.
It's higher than I would give it, I think. Well,
if this had been a month ago, I would have said like 8.5.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Would we all agree that it's the weakest press conference so far?
I would agree with that.
For me, I think EA is still a little lower for me. Like this is right above EA, just because this did have stuff that we had no idea about. So it did genuinely have surprises. It wasn't the best showing of said surprises with like Quiet Man, Babylon's Fall. I was still very excited to see the Dragon Quest stuff. It touched on Final Fantasy 14 and the new content that coming to that. So I mean, it had surprises to it. I think it just it wasn't presented well.
Yeah.
So that's why it had surprises. So that's why I'm putting it a bit higher above EA. It was still definitely in the not great category, though, by far.
Shout out to its big surprise, which is just that it ended after like 28 minutes, and nobody expected that.
We were like, "Wait, I thought they said it was going to be an hour or something," and then just ended.
Square Enix just trolling everybody is my favorite surprise. We're going to transition to happier news, which is Ubisoft's conference, which is actually, I think, for me personally, my favorite one so far of E3. Actually, Mike, what did you think?
I would say, I still think Microsoft's edges it out a little bit for me, but this is like a very, very close to that. Like
a very fun press conference.
Yeah, it was very fun. Like everything was like well presented and like like the whole show just moved and flowed very well. Like all of like even like when they were showing like just like CG trailers for their stuff, like I still like they were way more well produced, because it's like even though they were CG, like they were evoking like what this game, like specifically, we'll get into it more, but like Division 2, that whole sequence specifically, like that was like an extremely impressive like CG trailer that like evoked everything about that game. And like honestly, it was like a weird thing of like, it's probably one of the first times that I can remember off the top of my head where it was like I watched the gameplay demo yesterday at Microsoft and was just like, yeah, it's Division 2. I'm gonna play it and look cool. But then I watched that and I was like, wow, I'm excited for this. I want to play this.
Absolutely.
Like immediately, like it got me like immediately like skyrocketed that game to like one of my most anticipated games for next year. It's like very rare for that to like happen. And then they showed more, and then like they showed like not only that, but like we're gonna be like supporting this game for like the next year afterwards, and it's all free updates. Cool. Like it was a really good showing for that game. But yeah, like all that stuff after that, and then like after that, it like went into like a musical performance by like, and that's like the weird stark contrast of like last night, the Bethesda show opened up with Andrew WK performing, and that was just like, why is this happening? But like here we come to this one, and then it's like Grant Kirkhope performing Mario and Donkey Kong music, and it's like the coolest fucking thing. It's like how like stark that can be of like it just shows like how how you do it and how you kind of show it on a stage can really make a big difference, and that was really cool. So like it was a really good show.
Scott, what did you think of it?
I thought it was incredibly strong as well. I'm going to have to agree with Mike. It's slightly below Microsoft for me, but it was just a pleasure to watch.
Yeah.
Like even though Just Dance isn't for me, I've never been into it. Like the crazy opening,
that opening,
like, this is fun. It's got, like marching band, it's all that crazy stuff. It's still coming to Wii, so that's exciting. The Beyond Good and Evil 2 stuff.
Holy
oh my god,
that was the same thing of like the CG trailer. Like I felt what I'm going to be doing in that game by watching even just that, and it was that was just so cool. And then they still showed like that was like, we didn't do our prediction cast, unfortunately, but that was literally one of my predictions, was like they were going to show Beyond Good and Evil 2, and it was going to look like a little bit further along than a lot more than weren't expecting. I kind of think that like they showed like, you know, a person like playing that game more or less, and like things you'll be doing in an open world environment. Like I didn't expect to see that scale even by now, so that was awesome.
And the inclusion with Levitt coming out and how they're going to have artists contribute and submit their works to be featured as like graffiti or music tracks in the game. I think that's very cool. South Park did it first with having viewers submit their Yowie pictures of Tweak and Craig for their episode, but Ubisoft stealing that from the South Park studios.
Yeah, but that's still pretty cool.
It's
very cool. Yeah,
it's a smart idea.
Cool. It took down Hit Record's website. I went on right afterwards. Division 2 looks fantastic. I'm much more excited with that. The 3 different specializations with their own like special weapons and skills sounds very interesting. That'll be a lot more fun. Rabbids still looks good. We got the release date for the DKC stuff. Skull and Bones looks a lot more impressive than I was thinking it was going to be last year. So I'm super excited. And then this fucking Star Fox.
I was pulling that shit out of nowhere.
It's like Starlink, like up until the whole time, I was like, Starlink, okay. I mean,
I was like,
cool,
whatever.
I mean, it could be fun for some people.
And all it takes is like the
scenes flying, and then it's like, can you hear me? And then I heard the babadoo. It's like,
that's all it takes.
This is Star Fox flying and get the figure. It's like, oh, damn it, Ubisoft, I have to buy this now.
Yeah.
Because this is the closest thing I'll get to like probably a good Star Fox game for 5 years. Who knows?
Right.
And then ending with the beautiful Odyssey.
Oh my god! I mean,
we'll get
to that later. But Assassin's Creed Odyssey looks gorgeous. Like that, really, all the CGI trailers for starters were just like incredibly well done. Like they were all so beautifully put together.
What about you, Logan? What are your takes on Ubisoft?
Yeah, God, Assassin's Creed Odyssey looks great, and like I'm someone who doesn't really have a soft spot for Assassin's Creed games. Like I, in a lot of ways, actively dislike them. I don't think they play very well. But looking at Odyssey, is like, just looks incredible, right? And as somebody who has meant to get around to playing Origins from last year but never has, it's like that looks like everything that game did, but like even bigger and better and like more beautiful. And it's like, oh my god, okay, it's a giant open world like God of War game. It's like, I'm definitely here for that. The Division 2, like Mike said, like that opening cinematic trailer is like, yep, a million times. Yep, I'm all in for this. Sign me up. I'm like, I played Division 1, got burned out like pretty early on and didn't even finish it. And this is like, I am ready to dive and commit to that and just have like a group like IP play session there.
Oh yeah.
And then like Skull and Bones, it's like, I literally text somebody while watching. I was like, this is all of the like dope, really cool parts of Black Flag and like none of the baggage of being like the weird Assassin's Creed game that like I don't need. And it's like, I'm definitely here to be a pirate and just call shenanigans. It's like, absolutely. But yeah, let's start at, I guess, the very beginning and just kind of go through the whole thing quickly, which is the coolest opening they could have popped in with like the giant, like, let's just dance, guys. Let's just dance around outside, inside, having like giant drum sets and a fucking panda bear just leading the whole thing. And it's like, we are definitely, I'm here for this. It is super Ubisoft and like just super weird and like absurd. And it's like, it basically set the tone for like everything that the conference is going to be from that point onwards, I thought. And it's like such an awesome, like pitch perfect opening for them.
And like, I think that's always thing I come away from those performances is like, you'll like go to any other, like, obviously it's not for like video games, but like all right, you don't come for those press conferences for that. You come to obviously the video games, but like that choreographed like performance and musical was probably like the most thing they had to like work out and figure out.
Oh my
like,
god,
that thing compared to like any of the other stuff where it's just like they have a dude come on and talk and then cue up a trailer, more or less is kind of what the other stuff is. But like that's like you have to choreograph. They had like performers like playing instruments, all
especially at the end when it was happening like live in that like theater too, like where like you make a mistake there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can't imagine, how much work that took. It's a new Just Dance game, which I don't really care about, but like that opening, I'm definitely here for. I'll watch that again.
Yeah, and they did it well, where it's just like they had the crazy opening, and then they didn't have some person come out and be like, "Yeah, Just Dance, woo!" It was just they finished, and literally the date came up on the screen.
October 2018. That's all we need.
And it's like, all right, cool. And then they just all left. Like that was
everyone knows what Just Dance is at this point.
Exactly, right? Just like have fun with it.
Title or whatever. It's like we don't need to show you gameplay. You know what it is. We're just gonna have a fun opening, and then boom, there's a date, and okay, we're done.
And then boom to the next point, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
They got right
and like especially when that trailer started, I was like, what is this game? Like I wasn't sure for like a minute probably, and then it was like, oh, okay, like they've made some progress in the last year, I see. And then like from that point on, I was all about it, right? Because as somebody who never played Beyond Good and Evil 1, it's like I have no attachment to this series. So I was like, this is just whatever to me. And then it's like, all right, I am locked and loaded, ready to do this giant sprawling like space opera, like driving a giant like spaceship across like the rings of like Saturn. And it's like, sign me up here, boys.
I need to play the first game.
Yeah, like the first game is a great game, but like at the same time, it's like the stuff they showed, that like the story teases they had as a person who has played that game. Like I'm confused as hell. Like in a way that like makes me even more interested than I already was. It's like I don't like, they clearly said like that was Jade at the start, and like the pig cook is also like your sidekick buddy. So they're like inseparable best friends, like in the first Beyond Good and Evil. Like the pig cook and Jade, like that, basically like the girl that came in at the end was going to attack all of them. It's like I don't know that turnaround. I don't like, it's been a while, so like there might have been. I remember there was like a lot of stuff that went down at the end of that game. Like,
well, they said it was still a prequel.
It could be like a prequel sequel though, like have like maybe like flashbacks and flash forwards, like playing around with time a little bit is what I thought.
Yeah, it could be something like that. It could be, there could have been something I'm forgetting about the original Beyond Good and Evil, because it's just been so long. But it's
been like 12 years,
But like that was definitely not a thing that was there, because like that whole game is like about how they're him and are like Jade and the pig guy, I'm forgetting his name, are like good buddies, and like they adventure together and like, you know, sacrifice a lot of stuff for each other, and it was very interesting.
And she was a reporter in the first game, right? Trying to get a news story or something?
She's like a reporter, because that's actually like one of like the mechanics of the game is like something like this, like to progress stories, like you have to like take pictures of stuff, and to like to get like certain things, and so yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to play. Where she was apparently some evil like lord of a thing,
pirate or something, and then it's like, oh, I'm going to be.
I felt like that had been something I remembered if it was like a big thing like that, but maybe I'm just forgetting something. Maybe it's been that long that I don't remember it, but
yeah, I mean, like that trailer definitely sold me, and so I was like, I'm definitely here for this. They said pre-alpha, so it's like, all right. I mean, I still don't think we'll see it for 2 or 3 years, probably, but
yeah,
definitely. I mean, I'm not even convinced, to be honest. Like, I'm not even convinced Beyond Good and Evil 2 is a PS4 game. Like, I think that could very easily be a PS5, Xbox, whatever game.
Yeah, or it could be like at the tail end, and it comes over anyway,
or like kind of like the bridge game, but like regardless,
we're on both.
We've shown, it is gorgeous.
Yeah, definitely.
And then that gave way to Rainbow Six Siege. Which, cool. I mean, that was my reaction.
Ubisoft exactly. It makes sense for them to show it because they make a lot of money.
35 million players, I think they said they had. So it's like definitely very popular, dedicated fan base there.
Yeah, like all the esports and all that. So it makes sense to show it.
Yeah, I will say the documentary they showed for like the Rainbow Six Siege community looks really cool, right? Like that was that looks like a really super like no clip-esque documentary that like I'll definitely watch. And I think it was smart to kind of like have it in there, show it, and then just kind of in and out and get done with it. And so it's a real well done segment, I think. And then from there we got maybe like definitely a weird thing with Charles Ryzen. I think how that was executed.
Yeah, that was a good bit. I thought it was a good bit.
It was a good bit that definitely veered very close to becoming a bad bit, but like never quite went over the line. But like it definitely got very close at times. Like I liked him riding in on like the dirt bike. I enjoyed less him like falling down and like crashing through the thing. But I like the joke that set up where they like came back on stage and they're like all like sweeping off the like rubble of it. It's like that's good, at least I'll give them that.
Yeah, it was a good bit because like I remember they came on like. I think it was I think it was 2 years ago, like when they had some other Trials DLC, and I remember they came in with like wrestling entrances, and like had like pyrotechnics and like crazy outfits on. So it makes sense for them to do some weird thing like this again. So that was fun, and that game looks cool. Like I've never really played the Trials games.
Are you one of you a Trials fan? Yeah.
No, I've never really played a Trials game.
Yeah, it looked fun though. It was like it looks like it's a kind of goofy, silly, again, kind of fit in with like the tone of the conference, just like goofy, weird, absurdist stuff, and it's like cool. I mean, like I might give it a try, but like I definitely just enjoyed trying to make it seem more fun with everything it did on stage. But then from there, we got maybe my favorite thing of the entire conference, which is Division 2.
Yeah,
which
Division 2, man.
Oh my god! Like, just be still my heart for that. Again, that cinematic trailer is so good.
I'm probably gonna watch that again at some point soon.
Yep, I guarantee I will watch it sometime between now and Sony's conference. Just watch that trailer again, right? And it's just because like Division 1 had a great like cinematic opening trailer too, but like this one felt even better than that, and also felt like more true to what the actual game is probably going to end up being, right? Because like Division 1 did end up being, I mean, it was like that trailer, but like I feel like the tone didn't match it, and I feel like the tone of this one might match it more, because like the vibes I'm getting from Division 2 based on like the trailers and what they're saying is that it's going to be like possibly like more like story driven and like more narrative focused than Division 1 ever was, which I'm definitely excited for.
Or like a more realized world also.
I think they learned a lot from Division 1.
Yeah.
For sure. And all the improvements they made to that. So
exactly, like they've learned the lessons from Division 1 a lot too, like what people wanted from it. And then like the big thing of like there's going to be raids now, like 8-person raids.
That's awesome.
Super excited, super stoked for that. Hopefully they're not like 7 years long. That'd be awesome.
Full of bullet sponges.
Right, but
I think there'll still be some of that, but there
definitely will be. But I'm at least like hopeful that it's not gonna be quite as like arduous as like some of Destiny stuff. And then like you mentioned earlier, Mike, the like 3 free like DLC expansion things throughout like that first year, including like more like storage-driven content, more raids, more like world areas to explore, was like that's super awesome. Like I was like, this is a great way to like
it's all free. Like that's like telling where like a few, like I think it was last week where they announced Destiny's DLC expansion, and like I think people were kind of getting uppity about that because I think the base thing was 40, which was what the big first expansion was for Destiny 1, but then there was like a premium thing that like
An
made
annual
it like
pass.
Yeah, they like made it like
it's
like $70. So like people were kind of getting uppity about that, and I think that's because that game is kind of in a rocky place where like Division 2 clearly had the track record of like they kind of start off rocky too, but like they made it like it's at a spot where like they made it right, and then they're coming out the gate here with pretty clear where like we got what we need to do, and like here's free content for basically the first year of this game, and like a really great looking game.
I think that's how you have like that's how studios should announce. Like if you're going to announce DLC for a game coming out before the game's even out, I think it's important. Like they did it perfectly. It's like, this is our plan for the first year. We have 3 like DLC expansions that will add story and stuff, and it's free. The fact that like we're not charging you for this completely eliminates any of the argument. It's like, oh, you're just removing stuff from the game so you can charge us more later. Like by making it free and stating it right from the get-go, it completely eliminates that. It makes it more feel like, oh, this will be like presents that it will keep bringing me in. I think that's the important
players engaged,
that other studios really have to do, because just announcing a season pass before like initial trailers and things like that just pisses people off. So I'm very excited for Division, and I have to reinstall Division 1 and really play some more. I'm going to be curious if they add any sort of linking or
I think they said they did
incentives or things that might carry over from the original.
Yeah, I think they mentioned.
Yeah, because I want to say when they first announced like revealed Division 2, like a month or whatever ago, I think they said there was going to be some kind of thing they were adding to Division 1 where it would like be like reward, like I don't know if it's like a reward, like simple rewards. I don't know what it was specifically, but it was a thing that like if you do this stuff in Division 1, it'll carry into Division 2 somehow.
Yeah, it's the perfect style of game for it because it looks like it's a progression, because Division 1 was all winter and this Division 2 seems to be summer and like springtime and everything.
And like time has passed in that world.
Yeah, it's been what 7 months since the outbreak happened. Like again, like the idea that like it's all about like rebuilding, right? Like the outbreak is kind of like died down. That's about kind of restoring everything, right? And like it looks like you kind of like literally like change how the city looks and like rebuild structures and stuff. And it's like that sounds super cool, and like it is going to be like a much different game in that regard than Division 1, and like again much more focused on like this world and like the story and the people around you, which again is all things that I'm very much here for, right? So Division 2 just blew me away.
I just not to go off on a tangent, but I'm picturing this nightmare world where what is it? Anthem only comes out like 2-3 weeks before.
Oh god, yeah.
And I'm very hopeful that game is good, because it like from what they're showing, it has some promise, but it's EA and they don't have the best track record. But if it turns out to be good, like I know, like I will be playing Anthem and Division 2 probably for most of 2019. Like,
I mean, I got good news for you, at least for Anthem. It's going to get delayed until probably the end of March, so you got time.
You're probably
to play Division 2. Yeah, you got some time.
Yeah, you're probably right.
They will delay Anthem until like literally the very last day of that fiscal year.
I heard an interesting theory that the release date for Anthem was set at that point is like a fake release date. So then later on they can say, EA is letting us work on it and really make it the perfect game, so we're going to delay it to X date because we want to make it the best game ever. Kind of like the, yay, EA, you're so cool, thanks for letting us delay it kind of thing.
All I know is that I do not believe that game is not going to get delayed or something's going to delay. I just don't believe it.
I think it has to be delayed.
I've seen. Yeah. We haven't seen that much of it. I feel like I don't have that much. Like, look, we've seen more of the Division, which comes out technically after Anthem than we have seen of Anthem at this point. And it's like, okay, we'll see. We'll see about this.
Anthem could be really good if given the amount of time it needs to be.
Yes. Yeah.
But the question is whether or not it's going to get that time.
Exactly, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
And if given the time, it'll be amazing. If it's rushed out and pushed out by EA, it's going to be a burning pile of clusterfuck.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to touch on for Division 2 is them kind of talking about like the different like specializations and like classes, which is definitely something new from the first Division. And it's definitely, I'm very kind of curious about what, like how deep that might be and like what kind of directions you could really go there. Very curious about that. Very excited about Division now. I'm excited to be excited about this game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't really before this weekend.
Yeah. Same.
Did either of you write down what the classes are? I can't remember what they were.
I honestly didn't like 100% pick up on that part. Like I noticed they were like talking about 3 different things, so I didn't realize they were like super specific classes.
It's like a sniper one, like a
stealthy
medic
one.
Yeah, like a stealthy medic thing, and then probably like just a regular like infantry guy.
Yeah.
So,
I do think it's interesting how they'll have like each class has their own like special weapon they have access to, and then skills. I think that sort of thing adds, I think, so much replayability and kind of tweaks to it, where you can make other characters where party makeup matters. I think makes games like this really much more fun.
Well, I was trying to Google Division 2 to see if I could get those names, and the first link that came up was from PC Gamer. And it's just them asking, will Division 2 have a Battle Royale mode? Ubisoft says no.
Damn. Breaking news. But yeah, I mean, I definitely agree, Scott. I mean, I think it'll help make the game feel like your own kind of game too, right? Like it'll help personalize it as well and kind of make it your own distinct thing. And add, like squads, make that dynamic more important, and also make kind of choosing who you want to be and kind of carefully going about that a really interesting prospect. So
especially with the addition with raids. I think I think having the specific classes, even if I would be curious, I don't know if they touched on it at all, but having like at some point you can branch into like more specialized versions of that specialist class, because I know a lot of games do that.
That's what I was about to say, where like the 3 classes here, I just pulled up an article from, it's called PCGamesN.com, where they're saying that basically like the specialization stuff is more about like once you hit the max level cap, that's kind of like the way to kind of progress more once you hit that cap, and like kind of going to direct footage where like they're saying like, what is this? The class names are sharpshooter, demolitionist, and survivalist. That's their names. And it's saying that the specialized growth is a signature weapon. So like for the demolitionists, they get a grenade launcher. Sharpshooters get the sniper rifle. And it doesn't say what the survivalist gets.
Survivalist, I think it's a crossbow, because I remember the crossbow popping up in that portion of the conversation.
Well, that's it. So that's an interesting thing, because I remember at least like the early parts of Division 2, that was definitely like a major issue. Was like once you kind of hit the level cap, there wasn't really a post game of any sort at all. It was just kind of like, I don't know, go the dark zone or whatever, or that
go take off.
Hearing that immediately is like them being like, yeah, we know that was an issue, so like here's like a thing you can kind of work towards, and like getting those special weapons and stuff. That's cool.
That plus again like the 3 expansions as well that are already there, and are going to be free to play as well.
And there's going to be a year 2.
Yeah, that's going to go on for a while.
So I think we're all definitely really love Division.
Gonna have to do some IP raids, boys.
Yes. Oh my God.
Party
yes.
up.
Totally down.
It's gonna be so good.
Save Washington DC.
Yes.
I'm down.
I like the fact that like the Lincoln Memorial seemed like it was like the Division HQ hub there. It's like cool. I'm here for having Lincolns back there.
It's gonna be really cool. Like being close, like having gone down to DC many times. It'll be that thing of like going around and being like, oh yeah, I've walked down this street, and like that's always cool.
I feel like DC, as a final note, I feel like DC is such a great location, and when it's like so like often not used, right? Like way more games should be set in Washington DC. It's such a cool, like iconic, something like things everywhere, right? Like the National Mall in particular is like such a great location to like have things happen at, and so like I'm super stoked for that. After that, we got to Mario plus Rabbids Donkey Kong DLC Music Party Time.
Yeah, good. That was good.
Which was I think you liked it more than I did, Mike, but I was definitely like enjoying it still.
It was definitely like a direct like needle into the into the vein of like nostalgia, just Grant Kirkhope coming up on stage, which I think that's like the first time he's ever been on an E3 stage. I could be wrong about that, but I think that was cool. And it was like him like playing like the classic Donkey Kong music and like and the Mario Rabbids music, which I thought was really good music for the last game. And like that TLC just like sounds cool. It was like like I don't think they went to specifics here, but I remember them saying that's like a 10+ hour like full on expansion. Like all those characters, like the new characters they showed have like their own skill trees that you can level up, and like there's a bunch of different environments. Like I'm excited to play that.
Yeah, Mario and Rabbids was a surprise.
Yeah,
surprisingly fun and enjoyable game last year. So
yeah,
I enjoyed it just for the very least for like how incredibly impressive it all was. The way that it went from like super fast to like slow and back and forth. Like it was a really well done music piece at the very least. Even if it was like, all right, this doesn't do anything for me. It's all like, this is really impressive how good of musicians they all are on the stage.
Gave me a good time to process Division 2. Like I'm kind of with you, Logan.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It was cool. I didn't beat Mario and Rabbids, so I was like, yeah, this is cool. I like the music and everything, but I was just like, man, Division 2.
It was a nice kind of downbeat and like a way like to kind of pep yourself back up after you just like the dark and ominous and like incredibleness of Division 2, and then we got that. And then from there, Ubisoft just throwing all the punches. We got Skull and Bones, which I would probably wager to say none of us cared about going into this conference, and we all were like, yo, all right, I'm ready to be a pirate.
I would say not. I'm not as strong as you guys were, but it was definitely. I was definitely came out of being like, yeah, there's a lot more going on here. I think like seeing all kind of like there's a lot more like upgrade systems and like get your yellow legendary figureheads and sail wheels and all that other stuff. I was like, it's like, all right, cool. There's actually like a progression here. So it's like it was good to them to show that, considering a lot of people were comparing it to Sea of Thieves.
It's not all just cosmetic items that you have to spend hours and hours grinding for.
It looks beautiful too.
And it was visually cool. I kind of wished, because I remember like teased it last year. They said there was like a Kraken or some kind of I guess if you want to call it a supernatural thing, I guess there might just be the Kraken. But I kind of wish
Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, I kind of would have wished to see how that kind of comes into play. Like, is it like and it'll just show up in the middle of a battle, or is it like a thing you guys like? Is there like a particular mission where you like have to go fight it or do something?
Well, I know one of the options when they were talking about kind of the fortune teller guy, one of the options that like he will read for was like Cataclysm that had like a erupting volcano or something. So I would imagine like a Kraken or something like that.
Okay, I missed that.
Might be predicted to show up on a given mission or a run or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, for me, it looked like Black Flag, but without any of the Assassin's Creed baggage. And it's just like, all right, cool. Black Flag is the only Assassin's Creed game that I even like sort of have like enjoyed. And it was mainly for the pirate ship stuff. It's like cool to get just like a game of that. They definitely heard, I think people will say, we love Black Flag for being a pirate.
Yeah.
Get that game. From there, though, we got Transference VR, and we got a nice little Elijah Wood popping up on stage.
Looks freaky.
It's great. Just Elijah Wood in general, or just the game?
The game.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, damn, Scott's throwing shade at Elijah Wood over here.
No, I'd never say that about Frodo. Samwise Gamgee would kill me.
But it looks really interesting, actually, right? Like it again. Scott, you just got a VR unit.
I did. I played it a little earlier. It's really cool.
Are you going to be playing Transference? I'm so close to Mike.
Yeah, I might try it. I don't know if it said what platforms. I imagine it'll come out for PlayStation VR.
It definitely said PSVR on the thing.
I'm terrified to try Resident Evil 7 in PlayStation VR. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'd say I couldn't do that. My speed will be like, I'll play like Moss and be like, all right. And like that game they just announced on the PlayStation Ghost Giant.
Yeah, that'll be good.
That'll be my VR speed. It'll be like games like those.
I want to try. My bundle came with Skyrim, so I was like, okay, I'll try that in VR. We'll see. Sure. Why not? But yeah, it looks interesting. I'll definitely give it a try when it goes on sale. I don't know if I would get it. They haven't said the price, so we'll see.
I think here, so that's good.
Might be a good Halloween video special or something. Just watching me.
I mean, to me, it feels like a $20 to $30 game. Like I don't think it's gonna be like a $60 full price game based on at least based on what we saw. But it looks like a cool. I kind of got like Until Dawn vibes from it, which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But it was a nice little kind of cool down period before good old Yves Guillemot and the other dude walked out to talk about Starlink, at which point I literally got up and walked away and was like, all right, I don't care about this game. Come back in time, and literally within 10 seconds, fucking Star Fox is on the screen, and I'm like, all right, what is happening? What is this video game now?
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
I got real excited
quite a
for it.
surprise.
I need like a line graph that charts my interest in Starlink. It's like wiggles, and then
just going down,
and then suddenly like a very sharp curve up. It's like, God damn it, I need it now. And
do a barrel roll.
Then they brought on Miyamoto, and he's all happy. And
like
that's Ubisoft gives him an R-wing model. And it's like, this is how you make an R-wing figure.
There's like a little tiny Star Fox, like also too, like a little Fox McCloud,
like a Fox amiibo. Cool. This is how we do amiibo.
Did either one of you see if they had a release date for that?
Yeah, like October 16th.
October 16th, yes.
Okay. I didn't see it, so that's awesome. Yeah, I mean it looks cool. Again, I'm just gonna, if given the choice, only gonna play Star Fox. That's all I want to do. Yeah. Just be Star Fox.
Pretty
nothing
much.
Else. I don't need the rest of the game. Even I just want to be Star Fox. Just do that. But it's cool.
I feel bad for all the other platform versions of Starlink.
Yeah, it's not going to
buy Switch. Nobody's buying them.
This not to go off on Nintendo stuff, but this also makes me curious about that rumored Star Fox Grand Prix thing. Like this could be it could go either way with where like maybe this could be a thing where they feel confident enough in Star Fox to like put them out more, or it could be the opposite of like maybe this weird rumor came from somebody who heard about Star Fox in this game and a spaceship flying around. Who knows? But
I think if Grand Prix is real, we're gonna get a Rabbids cameo. With Star Fox being in an Ubisoft,
Sure.
Ubisoft will give
Rayman,
one of Rayman, Rabbids, or something over onto Star Fox Grand Prix.
Or it's way more likely to see Rayman and Smash or Rabbids and Smash maybe now, since now they've had 2 years in a row with the collaborations.
Oh, the trailer's on again.
You're gonna get Ezio in the Star Fox pregame. Just gonna get Ezio from Assassin's Creed, just out there flying around.
Ezio and Smash would be crazy, just assassinating Mario.
Just blood everywhere.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Just Dance bear, like the performing bear.
Dude, give me him in the Star Fox pre. That's all. Just give me more dance and Ubisoft bear. That's all I need in my life. It just brings me so much joy. From that, then we got For Honor. Did that get anybody real excited? I feel like that was maybe like the most downbeat moment for me of the entire show. I was kind of like,
the trailers for that game are always so much more fun and exciting than the actual
game. That's my problem. Is that like the game doesn't look like this or play like this, but like I like the trailer. It's cool, but it's like all right.
And I know there's like I'm pretty sure there's like a very devout like fan base to that game.
Yeah,
Nato Johnson, hardcore, just out there super passionate about For Honor, but it's like I don't get it, but
it's good for the people that like it.
Yeah. Also comes out in like the middle of October, so it's kind of they got no fear for Red Dead here. And then from there,
they're just doing like DLC, DLC additions to it, so it's not like a whole new thing. So the people that are big into For Honor
will play that.
I think the weirder thing is, I guess we'll get into it later, is Assassin's Creed is early October.
Yep. We'll get to that, but before that, right before that, we had the Crew 2. Just kind of them talking about it, really. Is all I was like, all right.
You can preload the beta.
Yeah.
Which starts on June 21st. That's pretty much all they said. I'm glad they didn't spend a lot of time on that.
A lot of time on that.
Crew 2 came up, it was like, this is coming out in like 2 weeks. Do we really need to see this? And then it was like maybe 2 minutes long. It's like, okay.
I know. I was concerned we were going to get like a 10-minute thing about it. So when it was just boom, 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 done, it was like, all right, cool. All right, cool. And then from there, we got Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Very lengthy. Very cool.
Very lengthy, but I enjoyed how long. I enjoyed how they kind of structured the whole show in the way that they would do like a trailer to introduce it, have somebody come on stage to kind of talk about like some of the mechanics and some of the systems, and then like a trailer to kind of outro. Like I thought it was actually a really smart way to kind of come out on a high and end on a high for each game.
Yeah.
And I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey benefited from that too.
I don't get a very strong Assassin's Creed vibe from Odyssey.
Yeah, not
That's
at all.
the best
it seems
part to me.
Very much like it could be its own new property. With
I think Origins kind of started this.
Casting fire on weapons and all things like that. It's like, okay. Like, it looks really cool. It looks like a beautiful game. I saw a video. They have boat combat, so they're throwing boat combat in Odyssey. But I was like, this doesn't feel this doesn't look Assassin's Creedy to me. But I mean, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm just saying I feel like this could be its own thing.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, I think they've heard people like me who don't like Assassin's Creed for a lot of reasons, but like the biggest reason is like I hate the anime stuff, right? Like, I hate the dumb, we're back in the modern day doing this stuff with like whatever, and it's like I don't want that. It's like I feel like they've kind of slowly started to like whittle those things down. Like Origins, from my understanding, like really had like not that much of it, and it's like I feel like they're moving away from it.
Yeah, no, it's actually I think they brought it back with Origins. Because I think the games prior to that had like 0 to none of it. Where like Origins, I played through Origins, and it's in there. Like they set up stuff. Like they even like had like a weird miniature tie-in with the movie and their anime stuff. It was very strange. So I think it'll probably still be in this game.
I still think we'll have it, but I think it'll be in like a more minimalist way than like the Ezio trilogy.
Yeah, for sure.
They definitely haven't been like the modern day hasn't been as big of a focus since the whole Desmond thing and ended in Assassin's Creed 3. I still would really like kind of a modern day Assassin's Creed personally. I think that could be cool. But yeah, Odyssey, it looks great. I was watching. I have the live at YouTube E3 or whatever going in. They showed it looks like boat combat and everything's going to be in Odyssey as well. Very similar to Skull and Bones, not surprisingly, but so that'll be cool.
I mean, the big thing for me is that just like how we should keep saying it over and over again in the section. Like the game just looks gorgeous. It just looks absolutely stunning. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and like it's also the thing of with its October release, it's like this is what the game's gonna look like, and it's like holy shit! Like this is a stunning game. I love the idea of having the two different protagonists. Like you can either play as like a guy or the girl. It's like definitely Team Cassandra here. Like everything about this felt like, to your point, Scott, that it is kind of a different Assassin's Creed game. Yeah. In the sense that I feel like they're kind of moving away from a lot of what like hasn't worked in Assassin's Creed games in the past. They mentioned that it's gonna like play different, like a different like, kind of gameplay to it, and it's like cool. Hopefully they kind of improved that, which definitely needed improving. The world is like supposed to be even bigger than it was in Assassin's Creed Origins, and Origins map is like massive.
Oh, it's huge.
Like, they just kept saying a bunch of things where it's like, yep, I'm here for this giant sprawling open RPG, like open world, essentially God of War game, but back in like Greece again. And it's like, yes, just 1,000,000% yes. And then October 15th or October 5th, I think is actually a pretty perfect date for that. Like I think I'm super like that's maybe my most anticipated fall game other than Red Dead now. Like I'm very, very excited for Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah, I think being 3 weeks before will still give Odyssey a lot of time to shine.
Yes.
I mean, the people that are really excited and into Assassin's Creed 3 weeks will be plenty of time to play through the main story and stuff and get a lot of their fix and still have time to play and do a lot of the stuff before Red Dead launches on the October 26th, is it?
I think so. Somewhere. Well, I think it's smart to
something
something along the lines, because it gives people who are going to like, no matter what, they're going to play the Assassin's Creed game time to play it. But it also gives time for kind of the word to get out for people who or maybe like either cautious or like not sure about it to hear that it's great and then get into it as well with the 3 week kind of head start on Red Dead Redemption 2. Like I think it works both for the long-term fans of the series and also kind of people who maybe either have been burned in the past or have never really gotten into it or just like aren't sure about it, time to kind of invest into it as well.
Right. And I think going in also into the holiday, I think Assassin's Creed as a name, I think holds a lot more weight than Red Dead as a series. I'm not like Red Dead will be fantastic and everything, but I think casual mom or dad that might be going in to get their son or daughter a game for Christmas or something, I think they'll recognize the Assassin's Creed name before they'll recognize Red Dead, just because I remember
it's been a thing for 11 years, right?
So and so an Assassin's Creed last year and they really liked it, so I'll pick that up. So I think Assassin's Creed being 3 weeks early and just having that name, easy name recognition, will still do very well this holiday. And I can't remember, I haven't finished Origins yet, and so maybe this isn't the case, but I kind of get a feeling that maybe with Origins being the origin of the Assassin's Order and everything, I'm kind of wondering if Odyssey will be the origin kind of the Templar in that aspect of it, because with the magic weapon and things like that, it seems much more Templary than Assassin's-y.
I mean, I don't know if I get into Assassin's Creed Origins spoilers, but that stuff, the Templar origins and stuff are in.
Oh, it is in Origins.
It's at like the very end of the game.
Okay.
Like this being set in Greece is like a direct tie-in. Like this is kind of like a non-sequel sequel to Origins because like the ending of that game, I guess spoilers, sort of, but like the ending is like Bayek, the character you play as, and his wife like separating essentially, and Bayek stays in Egypt to found the assassins there, and Aya, his wife, goes to like Greece and Rome and starts the assassins there.
Oh, okay.
That's like more or less kind of the thing. Well, I guess the crazy thing is she starts it by murdering Julius Caesar. Like that's
Jesus.
Yeah, that happens. But essentially this is like, I think this is, I don't think it'll be direct, but I think that's how they'll tie it in, is like maybe some point in that game you'll either meet Aya or meet some remnants of assassins that were started from there and become part of them or something.
I'm super curious, what time period this takes place in, right? Like, because in a lot of ways, I'd almost be curious if it takes place before Assassin's Creed Origins, because it almost has to in terms of like where it's taking place in ancient Greece. Because like certainly Julius Caesar is like, I would say a lot after ancient Greece as we know it was kind of a thing. So like, I'm definitely very curious when this is taking place.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're playing as Leonidas's, aka Gerard Butler's grandchild.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's like a few, multiple centuries before Julius Caesar was alive. That's why I'm like, either that or like, Leonidas just had really old kids and like grandkids that just were like kicking around forever. You know what I mean? Also, just none of this could matter. They're just going to play around with time if they want to, which is totally possible as well. But yeah, like that I would say that Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Division 2 were like definitely my two big standouts of the entire conference.
Oh, definitely.
So I guess we can do final thoughts now. Scott, what were your kind of final thoughts on Ubisoft's press conference?
I think Ubisoft, out of all the third parties, has perfected the E3 press conference.
Yes. Yeah.
They know how to appeal to a wide range of gamers. They know how to open. They know how to not overstay their welcome on certain titles. They know how to make it flow really well. Now, if they could just button up some leaks, like with merchandise and everything, I think that will really help them. But I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to see more of it, like the actual gameplay of Beyond Good and Evil 2. I think that's going to be their big thing next E3.
Yes.
I think that's going to be the big thing we can expect from them next year. But Skull and Bones looks like a lot of fun. But like you were saying, Logan, man, Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Division 2 look absolutely awesome. Incredible. I can't wait to play them. And I would definitely give them Ubisoft like a 9. Like it was a great press conference.
I think it's fair. Mike, how about you?
Nice. Yeah, very similar. Like it was like just like in the stark contrast of like Scott was saying in the third parties, like compared to Bethesda's show last night and like Ubi's now, like it was, I wouldn't say it's full on night and day, but it was like just like Ubisoft clearly planned this a lot better than Bethesda did, and just like knew how to flow into game to game, not overstay their welcome, like show the stuff they needed to show in an interesting way, like even like the like they showed everything they needed to show for each game, even if it was just a simple thing, like the Division 2, like in like a lot of CG trailers, but even the CG trailers were like, we're going to show, like this gives me a feeling of like I know what I'm going to be doing in this video game, and I just like I don't know, something else. Like it was like, and then obviously like they followed it up with like here's like an extensive gameplay demo or like showing off of a thing, or it was just really well done show. Like you said, Division 2 has probably now become one of my most anticipated games for next year. And I was not expecting that, before the show, not expecting that to come out of the other end with that. I would say personally, Assassin's Creed Odyssey looks really cool, but I still have some reservations for it. And
I think that's fair.
Like there was a lot of stuff there that made it look a little too much Origins, because it literally had like the same exact UI from Assassin's Creed Origins, like even like the menus and like the all the HUD elements were like exactly the same as Odyssey. Like a lot of the movement and stuff looked exactly the same, which could be fine, but also it's like if it's not enough to stand out on its own, I don't necessarily know, for me personally, would I want to put like another 60-ish hours into this game, because like Origins was a very long video game.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Especially with a very already packed end of the year.
So it could be really good, but it might just be something ultimately I'm not playing this fall immediately, maybe like sometime later. But yeah, like, and even like the smaller announcements, like the Mario Rabbids DLC and Transference, and like the weird, we got Miyamoto again to come out on stage, all like 2 years in a row. Like that's
the
something.
First sighting of Miyamoto.
Yeah. He came and hang out, and it was a really good show. I would probably say, I mean, I gave Microsoft an 8.5, so I would say this is like, I guess it would be, if we're going, I want to get specific decimals or whatever, I go like 8.3 or something. Like it's like, I still think Microsoft had a much better show, just in that they had, obviously they're Microsoft, so they can show like this huge and massive wide range that obviously Ubisoft couldn't, but like still Ubisoft just had a really good show.
Yeah, I mean, like, I definitely echo what both of you said, right? Like, for me, Scott, something that I thought was really kind of observant, which was that like EA's press conference felt like just like the same traditional kind of tried and true press conference format, like that has been around since like 1996. Like nothing really kind of felt like evolved or different from that. Bethesda's felt like a press conference from like 2011, where it's like, hey, here's Andrew like WK, and here's like a rock concert, and here's like these weird jokes, and like please clap, and it's like the audience is like definitely like the audience is like the worst audience I've seen in years at an E3 press conference. And then like it felt like Ubisoft has actually kind of grown and evolved and learned from Microsoft and Sony and how they've done theirs like great success. I think Sony in particular, like I think Microsoft has kind of followed that same path. And it felt very much in line with that, while also keeping true to kind of Ubisoft's more kind of silly and absurd and kind of fun spirit. Like everything about it just kind of radiated like I'm just having a good time watching this, right? Like that's the sense I had throughout the entire thing, is like I'm just enjoying watching this. I'm never dreading like some cringy line or like anything. Like even the stuff that like maybe didn't work, I was like, it's fine though, because we're just the whole thing just kind of bopping along. We're going at a good pace. I loved again how they revealed things, like the trailer into it, the demo, and then like the trailer out. Like I thought that was really smart to kind of keep excitement up, and then also while at the same time showing you and giving you information about what this game is, without just being like, here's a trailer that's awesome, but no more than that. It's like, no, we're going to actually talk about it a little bit, and then give you another trailer to kind of remind you of how great it is. I thought the pacing is like really, really good. Like I think it's, for me, maybe the best paced conference so far this year. Because Microsoft might have hit maybe bigger highs, but even that I could maybe argue. But I think it also had kind of some more lulls than this did.
Right.
Paced really well. For me personally, again, it is my favorite conference. Microsoft maybe had better moments, but this one just felt so fun to watch. Like I just constantly enjoyed every second. I was just like, I'm just having a good time. And it got me really excited about things that I either wasn't excited about at all before, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Transference. Honestly, I think that does look really cool. It's like a VR game. Skylink, I'm actually probably going to buy now, even though I probably shouldn't.
Fox.
Yeah, exactly. I was actually just looking. It's up for pre-order now. It's $74.99 is the price. So
for Starlink.
Yeah, for Starlink, because it's basically
with the ship and everything.
Yeah, it's like basically I'm looking specifically at like the Star Fox pack.
Yeah, which
it has all the stuff. So yeah, it has the little weird Joy-Con mount. So like it looks kind of funny. You can see it in the thing. And it has like the ship. It has like Star Fox, or it has Fox McCloud, and it has the other generic pilot dude that was in the game, and it has like a couple weapons in it. So yeah, it's $74.99.
Okay. But like
to imagine
getting me excited about that.
Yeah.
I like to just imagine Colonel Pepper like in the screen from Star Fox 64, like popping up over Starlink. Help us, Star Fox. You're the only hope for our game.
Yeah,
I think
I hope they get some other stuff in there from that.
There'll definitely be some other cameos, I think. But yeah, like getting excited about Skull and Bones, which I wasn't excited about at all before, right? And then taking something like Division 2, which I enjoyed Division 1 well enough, I guess, but was like, all right, I don't know if I'll get the second one necessarily. And then basically taking everything they did from Microsoft's conference yesterday and then just like building off that and like expanding on that in like such cool and new and interesting ways where like you said, Mike, that is one of my most anticipated games for next year, which is already an absurd year.
Yeah.
Stop putting video games out in spring 2019, please. Yeah. But like, I'm so excited for Division 2 now, right? And so like everything they did just got me so much more excited for things than I ever thought I would be, right? And like, I went into this conference being like, I think it's gonna be a really cool conference. I don't know how much beyond that, and now I leave it being like, this is a great conference. Like, I really had a lot of fun. So I would, if we're doing the ranking thing, I'd probably go with Scott and say like, this is probably a 9 out of 10 for me. Like, I had a great time. Like, it's just a lot of fun, and I think it captures Ubisoft's spirit so well.
Cool. The Ubisoft charm came through.
Yeah, exactly.
Flying colors with it.
Exactly.
They put out. They have, like you said, they have mastered how to put on like an actual show. It felt like an actual show and not like a conference. Or
not like a business kind of call like EA's did, or not like whatever Bethesda did last night.
Yeah.
It felt like a modern press conference, like a Sony or like a Microsoft did, and so like I think that's definitely kudos to Ubisoft for that. Kudos to Yves Guillemot. You know what I mean? Just out there living his best French life.
Yeah, I have to say, I absolutely love this relationship, Nintendo and Ubisoft.
Yeah, it's super interesting to me.
Like the collaboration and everything, like it works. I don't know why it works, but it works, and just the passion between both. Like when you see Eve and Shigeru together, it's just
it's perfect. I think their energies are very similar. Like they're both just like so fun and like so for like kind of cheerful, right? And like I feel like that works really well. So this isn't the point of this show at all, but do you think we're going to get a Ubisoft character in Smash?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that like solidified it pretty well. Like I could see, I could totally see it being like a Rayman, and you get, but also being you get Rayman as a character, then you have like a rabbit stage where like rabbits are popping up doing weird stuff. I could even see it being like I could even see it being like a Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle like looking stage where it's like reminiscent of that game. It's just I could totally see that happening now.
Yeah, with Mario and Rabbids doing so well and being so well received, and now with Star Fox appearing in Ubisoft's Starlink game, I think it's a very strong likely situation that we'll get something, either Rayman or Rabbid in Smash Brothers. Yeah,
agreed. Well, thank you everybody for watching the mainly Ubisoft, if we're going to be honest, but also technically Square Enix.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Press conference reaction thing. Mike, they can find you at Mike with the. Just say your Twitter handle.
Mike hits the wall. It's all wall.
I knew Wall was involved in the thing. I couldn't know where it was.
Yeah.
Mike hits the wall on Twitter.
Or just like you're already on Irrational Passions, you'll see.
Yeah, go to Irrational Passions. Check out all of Mike's amazing video reviews. Very, very, very talented. Scott, where can they find you on Twitter?
At SolidSnake120 on Twitter.
See, I would have gotten that right. I thought you had a 13 somewhere in there. So that's again why I just asked you yours. You can check all of Scott's like amazingly popular Professor RPG series and reviews on Irrational Passions out there. Very good. Very, very good, Mike and Scott. Both of you. You can follow me at LeftyLogie, Irrational Passions, at Irrational Pod. And until next time, stay irrational.
I guess we'll say there will be a show later tonight.
There will be a show. Yes, that's a good point.
I hear there's another conference tonight.
Outro. I think I already out. We're just
But yeah, we'll say just be clear. We'll be doing a Sony post show. I'm not sure who's all in it, but
Take Two. By the way, there's also a Sony post show press conference reaction with probably at least me and Mike, maybe Scott. I would assume Scott.
I think it'll be us three plus Alex.
And Alex, well. Yes.
And maybe some of the
Big Daddy.
Maybe some of the
podcasts will be around.
Maybe Navashin from the podcast. I'm not 100% sure on that.
The most anticipated press conference for me of the entire show, so very excited to see what that's going to be, especially with like the new format. Be very curious. But yeah, so check out all of the Irrational Passions E3 content. There's going to be lots of it. There already is lots of it. And until next time, for real this time, stay rational.
Bye.
Later, everybody.
All right.
So it looks